Hello. Have you ever wondered how the Air Force could go to so many austere locations throughout the world and have a fully functional base? The truth is combat civil engineers go in first and can have a base set up within 6 days. My name is James Mason, and I've been with civil engineering for more than 20 years. And I personally had the opportunity to go to many places around the world and set up and operate bases. Today I'm going to talk to you about the Air Force Civil Engineer, to include its history, structure, and major components. Let us start out with how the civil engineer began in the Air Force. It began in 1947 with the creation of the Air Force. According to an article in the Global Security Organization, with the separation of the Army and Air Force, the Air Force was in desperate need of a civil engineer for them only, one that knows the needs of the Air Force. Engineers were deployed right away, and they were presented with many challenges such as troop buildup, having housing for troops, and bomb damage to facilities and runways. In the 1960s, civil engineers responded to several emergencies, to include the Berlin crisis and the Cuban Missile Crisis, where they realized that they needed a rapid deployable combat team to be created in the Air Force. So they created the Prime Beef Team, which stands for Base Engineer Emergency Force. However, in 1965, during the buildup of Southwest Asia, they realized that they needed a heavy construction team also. So they created the Red Horse Unit. Now let's take a look at the elements of CE brings to today's fight. The structure of civil engineer is made up of several different engineering capabilities. An article in aboutmilitary.com describes 13 separate career fields that ensure success of the Air Force mission. The first is EOD, Explosive Ordnance Disposal, which these are the troops that are taking care of all the bombs. Then we have the Fire Department. Fire Protection Agency takes care of all the fires, whether it be in combat or homeland. Another is the Emergency Management Flight, which takes care of all of our natural emergencies and also combat emergencies. Operations Flight makes up the bulk of CE. Operations include utilities, career field structures, heavy equipment, HVAC, fuels, entomology, electricians, and also power production. Finally, let's look at what engineers bring to the fight. As reported in the Aerospace Power Journal, civil engineers are made up of two separate related functions to include small and large requirements. The first function is the prime beef function. The prime beef element deal with base operations, support, and small construction. If the first element is not enough, the Red Horse unit is then brought in. The Red Horse is a large construction unit with capabilities exceeding prime beef, with resources to actually build runways. Red Horse also has another component, which is airborne. They can actually construct a base where there's no roads by dropping all construction equipment out of aircraft. Now let's recap what I've explained to you. Today I've informed you about the history of the Air Force Combat Civil Engineer, to include their structure and major capabilities as a premier fighting force. So next time you see on the news a deployed Air Force base, you know that Air Force sent in the civil engineers first, and they're leading the way. Thank you.